Well, new reaction tonight from supporters of the Tea Party after a Democratic senator devotes a nearly hour-long speech to demonizing their founding and their cause and to plotting their defeat. Here is New York Senator Chuck Schumer addressing a progressive think tank yesterday.
Why does the Tea Party, a group that seems to represent a small but extreme part of America, have such an undue power? In the Tea Party elite's almost fanatical desire, Rush Limbaugh's, the Fox Newses agree with the plutocrats and spread their propaganda, negative, divisive, and ultimately unfulfilling politics. Root of the know-nothings, the prohibitionists, Father Coughlin and Huey Long. It's a route towards anger, negativity, and even hatred.
You get the picture. Joining me now, Chris Hahn, who's a former aide to Senator Schumer and the host of The Chris Hahn Show. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West is an Army veteran, former Republican Florida congressman, and a Fox News contributor. And Benjamin Smith is a former Navy SEAL and founder of HelpingOurWarriors.org. So let me start with you on this, Ben, as somebody who supported the Tea Party. This is the plan, to go after the Tea Party, to paint them as a bunch of racists, and then to start talking about how big government helps people.
Yeah. First things first, it was for the Center for American Progress, which is a big Soros, left-leaning, progressive cabal. And, you know, if you look at that, he started talking about prohibition and these guys seem to call us what they have been in the past. You got prohibitionists. That was progressive. You know, the government knows better than us, and if they take alcohol away, we'll be better. You got Father Coughlin, who was supporting of fascist ideas. He was the guy who started social justice. You've also got Huey Long, which was kingfish. It was also, you know, his big thing was wealth redistribution, and those were hate mongers. And then you've got the KKK, who was Democrats and left-leaning people, Margaret Sanger. You know, like they start calling us all these atrocious things, but you even see our rallies. No dirt, no profanity, nobody's drunk, nobody's committing crimes.
Don't laugh at him, Chris. That's rude. But why are you laughing?
Because I mean, he's making these connections. I don't know that you watched the speech or read the speech, Ben, but I think the senator was giving a very articulate communication of what the Tea Party has become, and he was comparing it to other movements that grew out of a fear of a changing America. And I think the Tea Party has grown out of a fear of a changing America, but it was basically propped up by big money using tax loopholes and moved this movement into the mainstream politics. And I think the senator, he spent an hour on it. The Republican Party's been spending a year trying to figure out how to get rid of the Tea Party and move it out, because basically it's turning the Republican Party into a party that cannot get elected nationally, and in many states it's just obsolete.
All right, when you say they have a fear of changing America, that sounds like a veiled reference to people of color, that they're afraid of minorities, which is what was suggested, and that's been suggested before about the Tea Party. I'll give that one to you, Colonel West, as a Tea Party politician yourself.
Well, I think it's quite laughable to say that the Tea Party is racist when people say that I'm, quote unquote, a darling of the Tea Party. But let's talk about the constitutionality behind this. And Chris, you can laugh all you want. That just shows your immaturity. First of all, let's talk about the First Amendment right that the American citizens have to petition their government for redress of grievances. Now, when Senator Obama was running for election, he was railing against George W. Bush, calling him un-American, unpatriotic, over a $9 trillion debt. Now, Americans who show concern about a $17.3, almost $17.4 trillion debt are now demonized and attacked when this is a serious concern. And when you look at a poll that just came out back in December, 72% of Americans are more so concerned about big government than they are about big business or even big labor.
Let him respond to that.
So I think that's a very valid point.
Well, you know, look, the debt, people don't understand the debt. The debt was brought up because we didn't pay for wars.
I understand the debt very well.
We didn't pay for health benefits.
Okay, but let me just jump in. Let me try to control this for 1 second. Let me try to control this for 1 second. But respond to his point, Chris, about the fact that the majority of Americans are concerned about big government now, and you have Chuck Schumer out there sort of diminishing. That's the core value of the Tea Party, diminishing it and them as basically all about something very vile.
Well, they're concerned about big government, but they don't really know what big government is. I mean, government does a lot of things that keep us afloat as a country. They provide the defense for this country so that businesses can thrive. They pave roads. They provide health care. They do things. I mean, Colonel West, you made your entire career in government. You've probably got a government pension, or you're going to be eligible for one. Yet the Tea Party rails against government pensions.
Well, unfortunately, the people in Congress are cutting my retirement. They're taking away 1% of my COLA so they can continue with their wasteful spending processes.
But one of the
Chris,
core,
let me give Ben the last word because he's a former Navy SEAL. Go ahead, Ben.
It's very interesting how when Schumer's talking here, he's only talking about government and the Tea Party, and it's kind of interesting how like Tea Party didn't give the Republican Party. I'm conservative. I'm an American, and we didn't give the Conservative Party in this last election their tent back. So, you know, Boehner started saying the Tea Party's dead because we're starting to stand up for our rights. In the past few years, since Obama got in, we started coming back from the rallies and getting into local government and starting upsetting, you know, the establishment. Well, and now that Democrats are even seeing bad numbers on the government, they're coming over to us. So now it's turning into not right versus left, but it's government and the Tea Party. It's us and them, government and the people. They're starting to be, as we're losing the middle class, up versus down, not Chris, right versus left.
That wasn't nice of you to laugh, but you are generally a nice man. So I'll leave it on that.
I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't laughing at you. I was just laughing at some points in my head.
No, no worries. Have a great night, you guys.